Hello and welcome to Loan Officer School. My name is Charmin Lane Rose and I am going to be your instructor for this entire program. Great news, this test preparation course covers every single item, every bullet point on the NMLS test outline. So something to know, however, this is a prep course, which means we're not going to get into the weeds. We're not going to dive too deep into each and every item. We're going to do a quick kind of bird's eye view overview of everything that is on this outline so that you're in really good shape to pass your exam the first time. Now, do be sure to go back and review any areas you're struggling with, especially in the 20-hour course you've already taken, so that way you know all the ins and outs, all the fine details. Now, before we dive into this program, we just want to give you a little bit of an introduction of who I am, what my experience is, and how we can help you. So as I said, my name is Charmin Lane Rose. I have been in the mortgage industry for 25 years. I have done pretty much every job imaginable. I started off my career in mortgage actually as an assistant to a vice president. From there, I went to processing, account managing, and underwriting. Then I went into sales. I started off as a retail loan officer. Then I moved over to an account executive, sales on the wholesale side. And then I went into selling loans on the secondary market, both through securitizations and whole loan sales. I've also been in senior management positions. I've been a executive vice president and managing and overseeing both operations and sales. The good news for you is that I can come at all this information from many different directions, give you great personal examples so that way the information makes sense. And just so you know, my experience at Loan Officer School is not unusual. All of our instructors have this level of experience, very diverse and very long time seasoned experience and knowledge. Now, I've also been with Loan Officer School as a trainer for 16 years. So we've done lots of programs. We've got wonderful pre-licensing education courses and continued education courses. So be sure after you pass your test to come on back to us every year to get your continued education requirements met. Okay, let's go ahead and show you what this test prep course and the exam are going to have in it. Here's our contact information, by the way. This is my name. This is my office phone number, our website, and our email address. If you have any questions or trouble, just email us or call that number, and we will make sure that you get taken care of. All right, as I said, the NMLS test outline, everything on it is in this test prep course. Federal laws is going to cover 24% of your exam. That's going to include things like RESPA, the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, ECOA, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, TILA, the Truth in Lending Act, HOPA, the Home Ownership and Equity Protection Act. Don't let all these acronyms scare you away. Yes, you have to memorize them. That we're going to keep covering them and going over them over and over again until you get it. All right. Also under HOPA, we're going to be discussing higher priced loans. We're going to be talking about TRID, which is the Truth in Lending RESPA Integrated Disclosure. We're going to talk about HMDA, the Home Mortgage Disclosure Act, FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FACTA, which is the Fair and Accurate Credit Transactions Act, and red flag rules. Then we're going to move on to BSA AML, which is Bank Secrecy Act, and anti-money laundering. Then we're going to talk about the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act. We're also going to go over MAP, or Regulation N, which is Mortgage Acts and Practices. We're going to talk about the E-Sign Act. We're going to talk about the U.S. Patriot Act. We're going to talk about the Homeowners Protection Act, otherwise known as HPA. And we're going to talk about regulatory authority. After that, we move on to the uniform state content portion of the exam, and that's going to be 11% of the total content. This is going to discuss the SAFE Act, which is the Secure and Fair Enforcement Act, which also is going to review the CSBS and AARMR model state law. CSBS is the Conference of State Bank Supervisors, and the AARMR is the American Association of Residential Mortgage Regulators, and they're the ones who basically put together the content for all of the states to adhere to. Under this section, we're going to be discussing state regulatory agencies, definitions and documents, license law and regulation, conduct with or without a license, licensee qualifications and application, grounds for denying a license, license maintenance, NMLS requirements, compliance, and advertising. Then we're going to move on to general mortgage knowledge, which is 20% of your exam. That's going to be qualified and non-qualified mortgage programs, mortgage loan products, mortgage terms, general terms. Then we are going to be discussing MLO activities or mortgage loan originator activities, and that's going to be 27% of your exam. In this section, we'll be discussing the loan inquiry and a loan application. We're going to be talking about qualifying, which basically is about processing and underwriting. We're going to talk about closing and have the procedures and all the details that go into that, and financial calculations. Okay, then our last section is going to be ethics, and that's going to be 18% of your exam. That is going to cover ethical issues and ethical behaviors. All right, that's pretty much everything that we are going to be discussing in this test preparation course. Every one of these sessions is titled with what section of the exam. So there's 5 sections. Section 1 is obviously federal law. Section 5 is ethics. And it's going to give you like MLO activities and what we're talking about in that section. So if you need to go back and do any repeater information, just follow along with your outline just look at the sections that you might be weak in and go back and review it. If you feel like there's any information missing, that's when you want to go back to your 20-hour section to dive a little bit more deeper into the content to make sure that you know all of the ins and outs. All right, be sure to utilize that rewind button. I know I talk a little bit quick, but I do my best to slow it down, but we also want to keep it, interesting and fast-paced. We also just want to make sure that you are utilizing, again, that rewind and fast forward button, just so that if something comes quickly, you can rewind it and replay it over and over and over again until you've got the information down pat. So very good luck. We hope you enjoy this series and you do very well on your exams. So let's go ahead and dive in. Our first section is going to be federal laws.